Hello art fan friends. So this week we have a very different bag than we usually have. We were thinking about Earth Day last week and thinking about spring and beautifying our neighborhoods and flowers growing. So the theme of this week's bag is growth. Okay. All right, what's in this week's art bag? It's really heavy this week. It's a very different kind of art bag. So we have this, a bag inside a bag. This is the heavy part. This says seeds. I wonder what's in here. It's a bag of dirt. Cool. Let's take out our project list. So this week, instead of a lot of different projects to do, there are 2 projects with really specific directions and little drawings to help us get through. So I'm going to start with project 1, which is plant your seeds. Right here it says do this outside. It's super messy. This is a bag full of dirt. We don't want this in your house. So find a nice sunny spot. Okay, so we're going to use this as your planter. And I'm going to go back into my bag. And today we have a pack of markers. So before you do any of your planting, we can just use the markers to add some decorations, or if you have brothers and sisters that are doing the art bag with you, it's probably a great idea to put your name on it because they're all going to look the same, right? So we'll go Bailey, and I'll draw some little plants so I know what's in here. Okay. You can take your time on that if you'd like to. No big deal. Or do it after. So to use this as the planter, we're gonna flip it up like this and roll the edges down. This might mean giving it little tears around the edges here. And if you don't want to do that, you don't really have to. But it helps to get a little bit closer to the soil. Okay. There we go. And then in this bag we have seeds. These are sunflower seeds. So be careful when you open up this envelope because there's only 2 in here. Those are the ones we're going to plant. There's only space for 2 in here. We don't want to lose them, right? Because they're so tiny. I'm going to pretend because I need to use this again. So have an adult help you. You can cut these corners off like this, okay? And that would be because you want the water to drain out of the bottom. So you can either poke it, but I think this is probably the best way to go. Just cut that corner off. Okay, so the soil needs to be packed down. You can stick your hand in like this. I'm just using my fist. Make it so it's flat on the top. And then you want to poke 2 holes pretty far away from each other. So about from your fingernail to your knuckle here. Poke a little hole. That's going to be like the little nest for your seed. Okay? Then we're going to put 1 in each. Boop. Boop. And cover it back up. Okay? And then you want to have some water. So your soil is already pretty moist, but you want to add a lot of water to wake these seeds up. Right now they're sleeping. So we're going to pour some water into the bag. And it can get pretty wet. I'm only going to put a little bit because I didn't actually put any holes in my bag because I need it for later. But you can get it super wet because the water will drain out, right? What we're going to do when this is done is you want to find a sunny place outside and probably roll this down a little bit more. Here, I'm going to show you actually so that the sun can get to it. And it's okay if this is in a place where it gets rained on. That's actually pretty good. But the sun is the most important, okay? And so you want to check these seeds every single day. If the soil feels dry, if you put your finger in and nothing sticks to it, which is not happening now, look at how wet my finger is, you want to add water. If it's rained that day, you don't need to add any water, okay? But if the soil is really dry, your seeds are thirsty. You gotta water them. Okay, so project 2 is to create a sketchbook. So you already have your markers out because you use them to decorate your bag. And so the last things that are in here are the materials for a sketchbook. So your thick paper is going to be the cover, and then these inside pages are obviously the pages that you can write or draw on the inside. Then the other very last thing in your bag is one long piece of yarn. So I'm going to show you how to tie these together so that your sketchbook stays, okay? So see how there's these little holes in here? We're going to line them all up and open your book so it's right in the middle, okay? And then we want to put one end of yarn through the first hole. Then we want to take the other end of yarn, put up here through the second hole, okay? And then try and see if you have about the same amount on each side, okay? See how these line up? So then I'm going to pull them together in the middle, and you can tie a knot or a bow, whatever works for you. I'm going to tie a bow because I'm going to probably do this a couple more times, right? When I see people in person. So we'll go like this, tie a bow, and now my sketchbook is put together. So the idea for the sketchbook is to use it to record your observations about your seedlings. So right now, they just started out as seeds. So I might start by saying day one. And then I'm just gonna draw the little seeds I put in. But as they grow, I might start to see little green things growing up from the dirt, and they might grow little leaves. I can also use this to say whether I watered them or not that day, or if it rained. So day one, I added some water to my seeds. Water! Oops, I'm gonna try and write upside down so you can see. And maybe on day two, it rained. So then I'll remember that I didn't water them that day. You can take the sketchbook with you to check them every single day, okay? And I'm also going to use my markers to decorate the front. We'll put another plant on here, okay? Okay, so after you've been taking care of your seeds for a few weeks, maybe even a month, at least a month probably, you want to wait until they're about 6 inches tall. So their little seedlings are going to be growing up out of the bag. And you have two choices at this point. You can keep them in the bag and continue to grow them that way. They won't reach their full height. Sunflowers get super duper tall when they have the space, but because they'll be in a little space, they'll stay a little bit smaller. Or you can find a place around your home or in your neighborhood that gets a lot of sunlight and has good soil, it's not too sandy, and you can dig a hole and plant all the soil and the seeds, the seedlings, in that place. So it'll add some flowers around your home and neighborhood. You're definitely gonna want probably an adult to help you with that part of it, especially the digging the hole and finding a good location. Okay.